people now.
Hey, Best Life Tribe. Come on in. It's time for the Grow Your Glow. I hem that up every time. Who makes a title for something and can't gets tongue twisted when they say it? Yes, it's time for the Grow Your Glow episode number 4. I say this for everyone like, oh my gosh, this is an exciting episode. They are all exciting episodes. This is going to be another exciting episode. So come on in. I'm seeing eyeballs. Come on in. Come on in. We're going live. I need some music. I need some more theme music. I'm trying to get the tribe up. Okay, wait a minute. Here we are. Here we are. What is this? Okay. Come on in, Best Life Tribe. Do I see myself in the tribe? Okay, there I am. Hey guys, welcome to Thursday night. Usually we do Wednesday, but my guest couldn't do Wednesday and she's so super. I was like, whatever day you could do, we're gonna make it happen. So it's gonna be a really great episode tonight, as they all are. And make sure you stay to the end because we are giving away some prizes and my guest is giving away a prize that I really hope none of you win so that she just gives it to me. Sorry. It's that good. Okay. So we're going to do what we always do. I am going to play my little opener. And when we come back, we're going to be live and we are going to be talking to Bettina Pete tonight. And you don't want to miss it. She has an amazing story. You want to talk about grow your glow. She's glowing all over the place. So come on in, tag your friends, tag people in the tribe, and come on in and don't miss this next episode of Grow Your Glow. We're actually on YouTube and the Puka Facebook page, so I can't really see where these eyes are coming from. But if you want to leave something in the comments, I see the Aries in me. I see a couple of people in the comments. Hi. So if you want to leave something in the comments, I'll try to get Benita to answer it. But Benita, okay, that's Bettina. Okay, that's the quickest way to have somebody leave your shows pronouncing their name wrong. And she's my friend. All right, so hold on, guys. When we come back from the opener, we're going to be live, and we'll be live on the Grow Your Glow podcast. Okay, so don't leave. The countdown is only 8 seconds or 10 seconds. All right, here we go. Hey, welcome to the Grow Your Glow podcast with me, your host, Dawn Fitch. And I'm an entrepreneur, speaker, wellness cheerleader, and girl trying to live her best life. When I started to feel overwhelmed with this new normal and felt like my light was dimming, I remembered all the things I needed to do to grow my glow. So if this is sounding familiar to you, sit back and relax because we're discussing great topics and we've got inspirational guests to make sure that you laugh, grow, and get your glow. Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 4 of Grow Your Glow. I'm excited that you're joining us. My name is Dawn Fitch, and I'll be your host today. And we have a great guest and an amazing show. Make sure you stay on until the end so we can announce the winner of the amazing prize that we're giving away today. And if you have questions for our guests, make sure to put them in the chat. If you're in the tribe, you can also put them live in the tribe, and we will try to get after we will try to get to those questions during the interview. So, all right, let me get on to it because look, I've had you on here for a minute. Tonight's guest is Bettina Pete. Okay, and I'm very excited. First of all, I always want to start with something. I have a little thing like I'm one happy to be here because we're on Facebook and everybody knows that Facebook went out, was it yesterday, for like 4 or 5 hours, and people were losing their mind. And I think that the biggest thing that I got out of that for everybody is you need to have contacts off of, especially if you have a business, you need to have your contacts off of Facebook. Facebook owns your business, your contacts, your things like that, and they go down and people were scrambling. And if you don't have a business, you need to pull out the old school pen and paper. And remember, we used to have an address book, and make sure you get people's names and address, because if Facebook goes down, half of us will lose so many of our contacts, friends, family. So we need to go back old school and just make sure that write down your contacts, get an address book, and get people's numbers, and maybe start doing things like the old-fashioned way, like picking up the phone and calling somebody. So that was it. I was watching a little panic on people on Facebook, and I was like, we don't need to. Facebook does not need to have all this power. So I'm gonna leave that alone because I'm actually on Facebook right now, and I don't want them to dump me off. All right, but let me get to the fantastic guest I have tonight. I'm so excited about her story. You guys are gonna love this. Wait a minute. I'm going to read you her bio. First of all, I told you a lot of you in the tribe already know Bettina because she's been our tribe adventure girl. So tribe adventure woman, should I say. But I'm going to read her bio for those of you who are maybe watching on the Facebook page for Puka or YouTube and you're not in the tribe, which you need to be, the Best Life Tribe with Dawn Fitch on Facebook. Okay. All right. So Bettina Peets, here's a little bio about her. She is a passionate wellness advocate and the founder of Adventures for the Soul, a retreat company dedicated to introducing women to the benefits and joy of outdoor adventure. Her mission is to provide the woman who consistently gives the best of herself to work and family a place to renew, revive, and rediscover her best joyous self. Bettina has hosted countless hikes, camping retreats, whitewater rafting adventures for hundreds of women. Every event provides women with the opportunity to connect with nature and to experience active sisterhood. She's also an accomplished international dance teacher, certified yoga and mindfulness instructor. Bettina teaches virtual yoga and meditation classes once a week as a way to contribute and give back to her community. And there's so much more. Let me bring her on. And hey, Bettina. Hey. Oh, I can't hear you. Wait a minute. No, it's me. There we go.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you. Hey, Bettina.
Hey, Dawn. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, we are super excited to have you. I said a lot of the people in the tribe already know you because we did a tribe hike. We did rock climbing with you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we did rock climbing. We also had like an adventure luncheon where we talked about the adventures for the soul and things like that. Remember at Puka upstairs, and they just see your face all the time. You have become the face of Black women hikers. So
that's a good thing. Oh my God.
It's a great thing. It's a great thing.
Goals.
But today, I mean, I know your story. Like just outside of Adventures for the Soul, but something that a whole new experience that happened. And here we like to talk about self-care and this show is in seasons. So season 1 is all about, how we're getting through this hard time, be it the pandemic, whether it's over or not, who knows, and just how we're finding self-care and, what it was actually like for us. So we had every guest comes on and they just share their experience of, getting through this time and, what was the best way to do that. And just hoping that it could give everyone else some insight because people are still struggling with this season. I'm gonna stop talking so much, but I have so many things that I want to talk to with you. So I was trying to figure out where to start. And I think like you have such an impactful, I don't want to say pandemic story, but just something that happened to you during the pandemic. So you are actually traditionally a teacher, a dance teacher.
By training, education. Yes, I am a teacher.
You are a dance teacher. Yes. So and what grade, and you teach in Jersey?
Yeah. So I teach in Teaneck, New Jersey.
Okay.
And they are amazing. They were nice enough to give me a leave of absence to go to China, which we'll talk about later. But so I teach dance in high school. And before that, I used to teach at a performing arts school at a very, very, very high level. And for a long time, it was my passion.
Wow. Okay. All right. So you started letting everybody know where we're getting ready to go. So we're talking about the pandemic. For you, we're going to talk about before 2020. And you called me, not to say like, I was the first person you told, but you said, I'm going to go to China. I was like, what?
You were actually one of the first people that I told. I was very sheepishly. I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to do this.
I was like, girl, what? What? But tell everybody why you went to China, how that came about, and why you went to China.
So now that I have a little hindsight behind me, I think I was experiencing, I think they call it compassion fatigue.
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And I think that happens to a lot of teachers. A lot of teachers, we call it burnout, or any profession, we
Okay.
call it burnout. But especially for teachers, you give so much. And
Hmm.
before coming to TNEC, I taught, like I said, at a performing arts school in an underserved community. And when
Okay.
you teach in those communities, you literally want to save everyone. Like I was
Yeah.
taking students in my own car to auditions, buying dance
Wow.
clothes,
Yeah.
and the need is so pronounced.
Right.
You give and give and give until you kind of experience compassion fatigue.
Wow.
And I just wanted something different. And I thought going to another district was that different. But I got there and I still felt like I think it's time to do something solely for
Oh, so you
myself.
went to another school district. You're like,
Mhm.
I'm gonna work some. Okay, but that
Right.
didn't do it. You still
No.
felt
Right.
okay.
Right. So
Okay.
I still checked in with myself and I was like, no, like I just want an opportunity to do something. I don't know. I needed to shake my life up and I needed to do something that was for me. It had nothing to do with giving to others because these and I think we feel so shameful to say that, right? I don't feel
Right.
like giving to others right
Right.
now.
Right.
But these
But
students,
we do it 24/7. I mean, yeah, we have to look. You can't. What does it say? You have to pour from your saucer. You can't give
yeah,
from an empty cup. So
yes.
gotta fill
And
yourself up.
this opportunity came out of nowhere. I'm sitting here like burnt out, compassion fatigue, whatever you want to call it. And a recruiter called me or emailed me. They
Okay.
saw some of my choreography on YouTube and they asked me if I would be interested in creating a dance program for their international boarding school. Very affluent boarding school.
Oh, okay. Did you know at that time that it was in China?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Because I
I guess they would
investigated.
want to tell you that, right?
Yeah, I've investigated. Like there, like a lot of stuff came through with like Mandarin subtitles. So yes,
I'm like, was this spam? What is this?
yes.
Oh my! So were you surprised? Did you instantly know, like, I'm gonna think about this, or because a lot of people would be like, no, like a lot of people. I mean, sometimes we could be a little scary. So
I had this knowing, like, I think I want to do this. I think I'm gonna do
wow,
this. Like at
wow,
that time, my daughter was 27,
okay,
27 years old, professional. Like I had nothing holding me back. And for the first time, I was in this situation where like the kids didn't need me,
right.
right? They had mom, dad, they had lots of money, Rolls Royces. And all I had to do was teach.
So
All
you
I
could
had to
just do
teach.
what you loved.
And my cup was filling. My cup was filling.
Nice. So
Yeah.
did you have to prepare? Was it a? Because I feel like you left kind of quick. It was like, I got this opportunity and I'm going. I'm like, okay.
Well, no, so it wasn't quick. Lots of trips to the Chinese embassy and the consulate in DC, lots of paperwork,
Okay.
which kind of began that little, it was, it began to cultivate like the second passion.
Oh, which we're gonna talk about, everybody, because
Yeah.
that's exciting
Yeah. So
too.
I was like, I have to go to the embassy and I have to do this paperwork. And I was loving every minute of it. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So you decide you're gonna teach. You go to the embassy, you get all your paperwork done and stuff. You pack up your life. How long were you supposed to be there?
In my mind, I was going to be there 4 years.
4 years. Oh my
Mhm,
goodness. Oh, so you were
mhm.
ready to. You were out.
I was out, and as far as Adventures for the Soul was concerned, I was going to be international. We were going to do retreats in Mongolia, in
That's
Bali.
right. That's
I
right.
was, I was setting all that stuff up.
Right. And we're going to talk more about Adventures for the Soul, everyone, because that is Bettina's adventure company. So
Mm.
she takes women on, like I said in the bio, on adventures. We're going to get into that too. So in your mind, you're like, this is great. I'm going to go to China. I'm going to teach the kids. It's going to be great. And I'm going to set up Adventures for the Soul. And
Mhm.
Dawn's going to come over and we're going to do these great adventures
Right,
as is
right.
everybody. Okay. So this is going great. So when you get there, did you love it? How was it when you first got there?
So
Culture shock, I'm sure.
there was a little bit of culture shock because most of the time we visit countries that maybe they cater to Americans or Westerners, and a lot of people speak English. In
Mhm.
China, they could care less. Like,
Really? We are not
yes,
special there, huh?
no,
Not at
no,
all. Not at
no,
all. Wow.
no, and not in a bad way, but like you had to like really, really immerse yourself. I got a tutor
Okay.
to come to my apartment to teach Mandarin.
Okay.
And so that was amazing. But what I loved about it was I had never experienced such luxury.
Really? That's not what I think of when I think of that. So
because
what was
because
luxury there?
this was a very elite boarding school where like some diplomats would send their children. So I'd never taught in that environment.
Mm,
And everything I wanted, when I got there, for example, the ballet bars were too low, right?
okay.
So I was like, oh, this is too low. And they were like, okay, we'll fix it.
And it was done.
Done. And public school in Jersey's like,
You better put some tape on it and keep it moving.
you
They're like,
better
okay,
you better
right.
get some broomsticks and make it happen.
Wow. So anything you wanted, they just gave you. And I saw some of the productions you did. They look like Broadway plays. There was lighting, and these were young kids, right? I was like, where is she
so,
teaching?
so that was beautiful. But I think the most beautiful experience was I had absolutely no behavior problems because the children and their parents absolutely respect educators. And
Wow. Okay.
I had never experienced that. And I needed that. I needed
Wow.
that.
That was look, that helped with the burnout. It is exactly what you needed.
It did.
They were
It
happy to be there and learn and
absolutely,
wow.
absolutely. And everything is they use your first names. So everything is yes, Miss Patina, no, Miss Patina.
Wow.
Yeah.
And like I said, I saw on Facebook, like we were all living vicariously, like beautiful presentations that you put on. I was
Hmm.
like, oh, this is nice. So now what's self-care in China? I mean, do they recognize it like we do, like this whole big self-care and
So I think just like in America, they're on a cusp of it, and
okay.
it's a new concept for
Mm,
them as well. Things are starting to pop up because there's so many Westerners there too, not just from America, from other countries. So I was able to actually attend some workshops on self care and things like that. Um,
is it the same traditionally like meditation, yoga, those same type things or
you know, let me walk that back. So the term self care is new, but I think as a culture, it's not necessarily new because you can go to the market and you'll see older um, Chinese men and women doing Tai Chi or they're doing
oh,
traditional dances like just out in the open and it's not a big deal.
okay.
So it's things that they kind of do that's a part of their culture. And also, you know, China's it's a ancient culture. So like even kung fu, right?
Ah,
Right, because
okay.
if you saw those pictures, I started taking kung fu lessons there.
Right. Oh, you were
So,
doing it. I was
right
like,
there,
she's doing kung fu today.
no,
Wow.
it was beautiful. And my
Yeah.
teacher was a monk, you know, from what's the mountain? Wu Tang, right? Wu Tang Clan from the Wu
Yeah.
Tang Mountain. So it's real, but so that is so embedded in their culture. So they don't necessarily call it self care, but it's
It's just
just
their life. It's just what
yeah,
they do.
yeah.
Wow. Wow. Well, we don't really like for us, it's in it had to be inbred because we didn't really embrace anything like that. I don't think.
Right.
I mean, we've started to, but not like them. Like you said, they grew up with those type of Tai Chi and it's just a
And
part of their life.
it is. And for us, you know, we have to realize that America is a fairly new culture
Right.
compared to other ancient civilizations.
Right.
And a
Right.
part of our culture is like, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You work real hard. That's our
Yeah.
thing. And no one
Yeah.
ever talks about rest, right?
Right. Right. Wow. All right, Bettina. So now you're in China. You're like
Mhm.
feeling a little glamorous. I know you said you did not love the food. We'll
No.
talk more about that. But
No.
you're in China and we're starting to get rumblings over here about COVID.
Oh.
So now this is 2020, I guess maybe January. I don't know. Did you start to hear about COVID before we did since you were there or
So, in December, late December, so I came back for Christmas. So
Mhm.
not December, very, very early January. So I came back for Christmas to visit family and friends. I went back early January. As soon as I got back, I had a friend who is like addicted to BBC.
Mhm.
And they're like, I think you need to be careful because there's this flu going around. So that's the first I heard it from my friend who watches BBC or listens to BBC.
And this is in December.
Early January.
Oh, January. Okay.
Very early January, and the school is shut down for Chinese New Year. So I'm like, it's just me and about maybe 20 other teachers on campus. So then we started getting emails about like, oh, there's this flu. Just make sure you wash your hands, whatever. Then the email started getting more and more urgent. Make sure, because we wore masks for pollution.
Mm-hmm.
So then we started getting emails about wear your mask every time you go to the market or you leave campus.
Mm-hmm.
A couple days later, wear your mask whenever you leave your apartment, even in the hallway. And then by late January, it was don't even visit each other in each other's rooms or apartments.
So what are you thinking now? You're now like, do you have any communication with the states, or are you like feeling the need like I need to investigate what's going on at home, or did you think it was something major at that point?
So here's the two things that kind of sent me like, oh my gosh. So I called the embassy
Okay.
and they said, well, where are you? And I gave them all my information. They said, well, give us a list of every other American in that building.
You like, you want me to do that? Wait a minute now. Really?
But I did. I went knocking on the doors.
Embassy's calling. Give me your
Right.
name. Wow.
And they said, well, we're going to evacuate Wuhan and Beijing may be next on the list. I said, okay. And then I started doing more investigation. When they evacuate you, you don't have a choice. It's not like they're going to drop me off at Newark Airport. They're going to drop you off at random air station. And from there, it's up to you how you get home.
Okay. Okay.
So I wasn't too fond of that choice. So I was like, okay. And then I started celebrating Chinese New Year with some friends, some artists, friends I had made. And they were young, but they were really, really nice.
Mm-hmm.
And this one guy, he looks at me. We called him Beijing James because he loved LeBron James. So we used to call him Beijing James.
Okay, Beijing James. Okay.
And I couldn't pronounce his first name. So Beijing James, he looks at me. He said, he says, I think you should go home, Bettina. But he said, I think you should go home, Bettina, because our government lies.
Oh my goodness. This is what this man is telling you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness. So how many other Americans were with, like you weren't alone. There were other Americans with you, right?
There was maybe 3 other Americans in my apartment buildings. A lot of them for Chinese New Year, we shut down for like 3 weeks. So they were in Bali, they were in South Africa, they were just traveling.
Oh, okay.
And actually I had bought tickets to go to the border, me and my crazy self. I had tickets to go to the border of Russia and China to visit the Siberian Tiger Preserve.
I'm gonna leave that alone right now, Bettina. I've always wanted to go myself to the Siberian Tiger Reserve.
I was going to go see these tigers. And then the person that was facilitating the trip, that was also an indicator. It might be time to leave. She's like, this trip is canceled. We don't know when it's going to happen.
Okay. So you're home now. Yeah, I mean, you're not home. You're in your
on a campus.
On campus.
Mm-hmm.
Are you getting anxiety? Are you nervous? Are you what's going through your head? Like, how did you remain calm so that you can make decisions? Or did you not?
I just kept praying, like, God, what should I do? I don't know if calm was a part of it. Right. I was just trying to get through day by day, minute by minute, because I only had like one really good friend on campus, and she was from Hong Kong, so she's Chinese as well. So it was just she and I just hanging out together, trying to figure it out. And she was trying to figure out, should she go back to Hong Kong? But it had already closed the border. She couldn't go back to Hong Kong.
Wow. So she had no choice. She had to stay there.
Right. And so she was encouraging me to leave, though, right? Because this is not my home country. And we just didn't know what was going on. But like, there was times where I would call home and I'd be crying. Like,
yeah.
I don't know what to do. I don't want to give up this opportunity. My daughter was in LA working. And so we would FaceTime and she would say, Mom, you look so stressed. Yeah, and I was just like, I've never been in this situation. So, but when Beijing James said I should go home, that was it.
Because you know what? If you're going to listen to anybody, you're going to listen to Beijing James. He ain't going to lie. And he actually said, my government lies.
He did.
Yeah. Wow.
So, and I'm actually glad I don't remember his name, because I would hate for someone to see this. Yeah.
That's true. Like, we ain't seen Bettina. She missing.
Or Beijing James.
Right. Oh my goodness. Okay. So now you decide I'm leaving. Like, what was that decision? You're just like, you're getting up the next day and I'm getting on a plane. I'm out of here.
So my friend who was from Hong Kong, she made all my flight reservations.
Okay.
Because it was hard for me to get through, it was difficult, but again, so she handled everything for me, and it was so sad when I left. Like, she walked me to the taxi and she started crying. It was hard. It was hard
Wow.
leaving her. And then
Yeah.
her name is Jennifer. She's a sweetheart. And then when I got in a taxi, the interesting thing was the taxi driver who spoke a little English. He said, "Are you going back to America?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was just like, "I think you might be safer here because people listen."
Oh, well, he must have known something. Look, he must have known something. So now he's telling you should stay here.
Yeah, yeah. So I was going back and forth, but I just needed to be home. I just needed
Yeah.
to be home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you go to the airport and you got on the plane.
I had the last seat on the plane,
Oh my
and
gosh, Katina.
yeah, I had the last seat on the plane. When I got to the airport, the woman, she was like, "Okay, wait a minute." I was like, "Oh my God, what happened?" Whatever. She was just like, "I have to refund you half your money because I bought a round trip ticket." She
Mhm.
was like, "Because all the flights have canceled coming back."
And you're like, "I don't care. Just get me on the
Excuse
plane."
me.
Wow.
And so when I got off the plane in Newark. I thanked the flight attendant. I said, "Thank you. This is a wonderful flight." And I was like, "I'm so happy to be home." She's like, "You're very lucky." She's like, "This is the last flight."
God is good. So you would have been in China
Oh wow.
during the
Yeah.
height for a while, during the
Mhm.
height of because they flights didn't open back up for
A long time.
it could have been like summer.
Yeah,
No,
probably
maybe
the summer.
spring or summer. You would have been
Mhm.
stranded there. You got on the last seat on the last plane.
Yeah.
Mm, okay. Okay, everybody. You see what I'm talking about? You see her story, and she's here still
Crazy.
smiling. I would have been a
Oh,
basket face.
I was
You weren't
smiling
smiling
then.
then. You weren't smiling then. Oh my. Okay, so now tell me. Let's fast forward. Well, it's not even fast forward. What was it like when you got home? Because now you're home. Now you're seeing what we've been experiencing, what we've been watching here.
Let me tell you.
So, oh, girl, I
It
know
was
some of it.
it was surreal because it was like nothing was happening. Like no one believed it. So I
Oh,
get back
okay.
to Newark Airport and I'm thinking they're gonna whisk me away and test me and quarantine me. I get back to Newark, it's like, welcome to Newark.
And that was it.
That was it. There was no screening, nothing. I was like, wait a minute. And so I so the hard part, so now I'll stop smiling and hopefully I won't cry. The hardest part for me was no one wanted to pick me up from the airport.
Oh my gosh. And I feel like we had this conversation.
Mhm. So, I mean, there's lots of lessons in that, of course, but
But did you expect that? Were you even thinking that? Or
no,
and these are
no.
friends. This is it's just people. We're not gonna name who they are,
Right,
but
right. All
and
of
they
the
were
above.
just like, no. People
Yeah.
were that afraid. They were
Mhm,
like, no, I don't want to
mhm.
pick you up.
So no one would say exactly, no, I'm not picking you up. It's like, okay, girl, glad you're home, Well, a couple people know flat out, like, well, what do you want me to do? It's a pandemic and I can't expose myself. So I did get a couple of those. And my daughter was in LA.
Okay.
Her fiance was in Louisiana. And that's my only family, right? Really. And yeah, no one wanted me at their house.
Oh my gosh. So what did oh right, because you had given up your apartment
I
here.
had given up my
You
apartment.
had no
I
so
had I
nowhere to go.
had an overnight bag with some leggings.
Oh my goodness. Well, look, as long as you got a good pair of leggings.
Right.
Oh my
So
goodness. So what did
I
you do?
I went straight to the VA hospital because I'm a veteran because I wanted to get tested. And I was convincing that doctor that I was having a heart attack. He was like, "You're
Yeah.
not." I was like, "I am."
You gonna let me stay up in here?
But I
Wow.
thought I was. He's like, "No, you're having a panic attack."
Wow, it was that. Now,
Yeah.
did they have COVID tests? Like, were you able to take a COVID test?
Yeah. So
'Cause
they
that
had
was what, February, or
Yeah,
that was
in
February?
February. So the doctor was excited. He was like, I was wondering when I was going to get my first case, whatever. So he immediately called CDC. He was like, I have this young lady who just came from Beijing. He was quite excited.
Oh my god! And inside you just crying, inside and outside you're probably crying.
Yes. So I didn't have COVID. I wasn't having a heart attack. I called an Uber. I got a hotel.
Wow.
I got a
Oh my.
hotel for a few days, Airbnb, until something told me, I was like, okay, I'm going to be here for a while. Maybe I can get a sublet. So I just sent a message on Facebook, like, does anyone know about a sublet? And here's a big old blessing. A friend of mine who lives in the apartment building that I used to live in that I gave up, she sent me a message. She was just like, there's a sublet in the building you used to live in.
So you were right back home.
So in about 2 months' time, I was right back in the same apartment building.
Wait a minute. So you stayed in the Airbnb for 2 months?
Hotels, Airbnb, just trying to figure it out.
Oh my goodness. So
Mhm.
what was your mindset? I mean, were you
Oh,
well,
I was at my
you were able
lowest.
to you were at your okay.
I was at my
Okay.
lowest. There was times where I just cried. I cried so much. But God was just like, you know what? I'm gonna show you how confident you are.
Mm,
Like, because I've never really felt like a confident, brave, like I was telling you before, but like God used this opportunity to really, really reveal my inner strength. And I'm
wow.
grateful for it.
And reveal it to you. Like
Yeah,
so he's
reveal
like,
it
I
to
need
me.
you to believe this. Wow.
Yeah, because I had
Oh my God.
never,
Yeah.
but it was me and God, and I was making it
Yeah.
happen. And I got some beautiful, beautiful messages, really, because some people kind of read between the lines. I got some beautiful behind the scenes messages from people from afar. Like
Okay.
if you need anything or whatever. But God was like, you're gonna lean on me and we're gonna make this happen.
Ooh. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Okay, see, people don't get reflection like that. Like you had 2 months of just like you said, you and God. And I'm sure when you look back now, like you're like, how there's nothing but the grace of God that I got through that whole period
Oh
and came out with just such a strength about you
yeah,
because you're a different person.
I was such a different person. Let me tell you, because I still had to teach. I went
Right.
home to my job. I was like, hey, I'm going home. There's like, we understand, but it's a school. So they're like, okay, well, we're going to do this virtually like everyone else. Time difference. So 8 in the morning is 8 p.m. for me. So I was teaching from 8 p.m. to like midnight.
Oh, so you were on a contract. So you still had to teach in Beijing while you were home. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
how do you
Trying to
teach
in
virtual
Airbnb.
dance? But how
Oh,
what were you
uh, dance history,
okay.
anatomy. I would do yoga with them.
Because they were all home, right? Well, they were all quarantined there.
They were home. They let them go home in
Oh, they
quarantine.
went home and quarantined. Okay.
But here's the other blessing. This is where like the new passion started to come in.
Mm-hmm.
So as I'm coming home, George Floyd and all this stuff is starting to happen. My
Mm-hmm.
kids, who really should not be on Facebook because it's against the law, but they're kids, so they figure out. So they're asking me, like, Miss Bettina, what is happening with Black Lives Matter? Are you okay? So it was a wonderful opportunity for me to connect with these Chinese kids who really didn't have a reference for African American and what our lives are like here.
Mm.
So we had these deep conversations of what it's like to be an African American in America and what racism
Wow.
is.
Oh, wow.
And one of my kids, what they said, it just made me cry. He was like, you know what, Bettina, I don't care, Miss Bettina, I don't care what people say. I like Black people.
Girl, you changing like you changed their lives
I say that
and
to
their view of us as Black people.
yes.
Wow.
And people are like, oh, Chinese people are racist, whatever. These are kids.
These are
So
kids.
I realized like education, international education is diplomacy.
It's diplomacy.
Actually, any type of international connection has the possibility of being diplomacy in creating global citizens.
Now, this is why I tribe and grow your glow people, wherever I'm going to call you. This is why Bettina is the bomb. Because after all of this stuff that she went through, and I always ask my guests, what did you birth during this time? And I'm not talking about did you get a job? It might be a new attitude or something. Like extreme change in circumstance brings a new part of us alive. So I know that everything you just said birthed your next step in what you're going to do. So let
Mhm.
everybody know what that is, because this is like some Charlie's Angels spy stuff in my mind. Because obviously I don't really know what you do. So go ahead.
Well, I'm
What
not a
what did this
spy.
birth for you?
In case anyone's listening, I'm not a spy.
No, she's not.
So,
She's not. Not at all.
so what this birth in me, I just knew that I was never going to be the same. Just teaching 5, 6, 7, 8 was never going to suffice. Um, at the same time, I wanted Adventures for the Soul to be even bigger. And I just love that connection, that moment that I have with my kids. And I was just like, what does this mean? What does this mean? And so I decided that after doing some research, I wanted to go into diplomacy. Right. So I'm still so I applied to a couple of schools. I applied to Princeton. Gotta go big, right? Go big, go
Yes,
home.
that's right. That's right.
But they said no.
That's
So
okay. You applied. You applied. So what? So
So I
what?
applied to Princeton and I applied to Seton Hall. And Seton Hall said yes. So I am currently in graduate school for my master's degree in international diplomacy, and I absolutely love it. It is thrilling. I have a even bigger understanding of how the world works and how we're connected. And I'm constantly looking for that intersection of adventure and diplomacy.
So you are going to be a diplomat.
In some form, some fashion, absolutely. And I feel like that I've already served in that capacity
Yes.
informally, because there's
Yes.
something called soft diplomacy,
Okay.
right? So I think that's what I engaged in when I was in China.
Yes. Yes. So this if this had not had happened, do you think you would have followed down this path of diplomacy? No.
No, no. So
See how God
everything's
works?
right. So I'm a firm believer in things don't happen to you, they happen for you.
They happen for you, and you're a part of it. You make decisions, you make choices. You're a part. We're a part of life. Life doesn't happen to us. We make
Um,
choices.
we
So
make choices, and I think the biggest choice you can ever make for yourself, and sometimes it's made for you, but is to sit down in silence. Because I had a lot of sit down in silence moments where
yeah,
I had no words, it was only tears.
yeah, yeah. Mm. I have somebody that asks here, are you still in touch with the young lady that helped you make the plane reservations and get out?
Oh, absolutely.
You are.
She's my bag girl. She helps me get bags from China.
Oh, we're still girly girls.
Yes,
Like, girl, I need a new bag. So what
but
you gonna do? Wow. So what is life like for her there? Because is she back home or she's still
so I have two friends. So one is Jennifer, and Jennifer is originally from Hong Kong. So she's still in Beijing. She's at a different school. She is the most amazing visual artist you would ever experience,
wow?
and she's pursuing her own endeavors and still teaching, but at a different school. But yeah, so WhatsApp is amazing. So we go back and forth on WhatsApp,
On what's that?
and
Okay.
we talk about like the same thing. Like if this hadn't happened, I don't think she would have pursued her art the way that
Right.
she has.
Silver linings.
Um,
Yeah.
so, and that's what I mean about Adventures for the Soul and connecting women. Because there's this woman in Hong Kong, and I'm here in Bloomfield, New Jersey, and I love that we can sit on WhatsApp and talk about mindfulness and
Yes.
talk about what our next chapter is.
Wow.
You know.
And I want you to talk too more about Adventures for the Soul because I mean, just tell people why you started Adventures for the Soul, giving adventures. I'm not going to say to women of color, to women,
To
just
women, yeah.
adventures for women because we just don't take the time to do things like that. So talk a little bit more about your company, Adventures for the Soul.
So yeah, so I love Adventures for the Soul. It's like my second child. It really is. And I love what it has done for women. So I started it again. I was still in that phase of like burnout or what I call compassion fatigue, but I still didn't have the vocabulary for it. I'm just like, oh,
Hmm.
been teaching for years. My daughter was in college, and I just wanted to do things that made me feel alive.
Mm,
Because just going to work 5, 6, 7, 8 every day wasn't doing it for me. It was doing it for the kids, right? And everyone would say, "Oh my God, you're such a blessing to the kids." Well, I was like, I want to be a blessing to myself.
yeah, yeah.
So I started hiking with random groups and stuff, and it was fun. But I was always the only Black woman,
Okay,
right?
right.
And so I would do it. And I was just like, we need this. We need a what would you say? We need a
And
safe
adventures.
we need a venture, but we need a safe entry point into the adventure. Because
Okay.
there's so many women like, I want to, I thought about it, and I was just like, and you should, and I'm going
Right.
to give you a familiar face to
That
help you.
to let you know it's okay and we do this and we could do it safely and
Yeah.
enjoy. And
Yes.
you don't only hike, you camp, you white water raft. I mean, you
Kayaking.
kayaking. And you just went on your own and just like, oh, let me try this. Let me try
Yeah.
that. Let me try. Like we talked earlier about and now that people are inviting you places and you went to I don't know if that's called a campground.
A
Um
glamping
a
facility.
glamping. That place looked
Yeah.
amazing. And they invited you there just to check it out. And you stayed the weekend in that whole camp thing by yourself.
I did. I did.
Girl, bye.
It felt right. I checked him out on Instagram. It was beautiful, and I was like, "What a blessing!" Right.
Yeah.
So they invited me to stay at their facility because they knew I was looking for venues. So they knew
Right.
that it would be a good investment to bring me down. right?
So how do you? I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry, but how can we as women and women of color become more fearless? I think there is an amount of a fear and uncertainty about trying new things, especially outdoors. That's not usually how many of us were raised, as far as hiking, kayaking, camping, and things like
Excuse
that.
me.
And I find such peace in nature, such stillness,
Me
and where
too.
you can really get your soul. How do we become more fearless as women?
I don't think about becoming fearless. I think
Mhm.
about becoming more comfortable with fear,
Okay.
right?
Okay. Right. Well,
Because
okay.
it's a natural feeling, and
Hmm.
we just have to recognize it, give it a name, like, oh, this is what I'm experiencing,
Hmm.
but I'm not going to fall apart.
Right.
I want to move through it and see what happens afterwards.
And by you being fearless, I mean you have had an amazing just
I'm
journey
I'm
through
com- I'm
China. Through
I'm comfortable with fear. I'm not
You're
fearless.
comfortable, yeah. But you're right. We're never going to be fearless, but you are comfortable and you do things in spite of it. And that makes for an amazing life. So,
Yeah.
and I don't know if you want to share, because I had assumed that I was like, oh, but Tina must be doing this stuff when she was little. She must be, hiking and camping, and I was like, maybe she was raised as a little mountain girl, and but that's not where you found that's not where you found your love of adventure.
No. I mean, the only adventure I had was like any other kid growing up in Newark, and you went to the Boys and Girls Club.
Wow.
If it was a good Boys and Girls Club, maybe they took you out to like a camp type thing, but no. And like every other kid growing up in the North, in the summers, you go down south to visit your grandparents.
Right.
So that was
Right.
about the extent of it, although that's beautiful in itself. But no, like, and I don't mind sharing with you. Home wasn't good for me. Like, I grew up in Newark, 21st Street and Avon Avenue. That's rough territory. And I always felt uncomfortable there. Like, I just wanted more. Like, I always say to like my students, you're made for more. You're made for more.
Wow.
And
But tell me about Swan Lake. When you saw Swan Lake, it
so
changed your life.
it did. So actually, it was the Nutcracker,
Oh,
and
the
my
Nutcracker. I'm
my
sorry.
mom used to clean house for these rich doctors and stuff in Short Hills and Livingston, like a lot of women from the South would do, right? Come up and
Mm.
clean house, and so they took me to see their kid in the Nutcracker. I was floored, like this big fantasy world on stage. I had never seen anything like it, and I just loved it. It stayed with me. Fast forward,
Wow.
any opportunity in school, there's for some little dance. I tried to do it. I went to a performing arts middle school. I would save my own money and take individual ballet classes.
I love that.
And what I
Wow.
was telling you about Swan Lake, to this day, the first note of Swan Lake is over. It's done. I'm crying.
I
This
don't
kid,
even remember Swan Lake. I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna look at
it's
it
such a
today.
beautiful ballet.
I
Like,
have to. I have to. Like, if you crying every time you see it, what an experience.
not
Okay.
even see it. Here,
When you hear it.
I hear the
Wow.
orchestra, and I'm like,
Wow.
this little
Wow.
kid from Newark, 21st Street, just cries.
Wow. But look, you said you saved your own money to take ballet classes and went to school and you're teaching other people, and that brought you to China to teach them. Like, what a life experience, from saving your money to take a ballet class to what you've blessed so many kids with, the experience of dance and ballet. You go,
Yeah.
Bettina, you go. I'm getting ready to go. I got to go see Swan. I got to go listen to Swan Lake now.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, ma'am, it's 8:45 and we could
Okay.
talk forever. No, no. We
Wrap
could
it up.
talk forever. We could talk forever, but I know, look, it's Thursday night too. People are like, okay, time to go.
Okay.
But this has been amazing. And I know that you are giving something away. So let us know what you're going to give away.
Yes. So it's not even on the website, which the website is www.adventuresforthesoul.me.
Mhm.
So on, let's see, November 6th, I am doing another hike and brunch at Hackle Barney State Park. So the first person to text or put in the chat where I grew up, not the city, but I said specifically 2 streets on such and such. The first person to put that in the chat will be able to go on this hike and brunch for free.
Let me go over to the chat right now. Okay, fine. I won't win. And if nobody gets it right now, because this will be on the replay, we're gonna watch and we're gonna see the first person that answers. If somebody watches it on the replay later, or look, if you're on here now and you want to replay it after we're done and listen to it,
Oh, Jocelyn said Hawthorne and West. Nope.
no,
Oh, wait.
Jocelyn, no.
Somebody said it. Lori Wood.
Did she? Oh,
yeah.
2020.
Avon and 21st.
There she goes. Okay, Lori Wood. Yay. So Lori is getting, say it again, Bettina.
Hike and Brunch on November 6th. I'm writing her name down. So Lori, please send me your email. You can either send it to me through Facebook or on the website.
And I've been on your Hike and Brunch. They are amazing. And I might be on, look, I know Lori. So look, I might be on that brunch. On that Hike and Brunch with her as well. You guys, please go to, it's adventuresforthesoul.com.
.me.
adventuresforthesoul.me, especially if you're local, and please sign up for Bettina. She has brunches. She has hike and brunches. Sometimes you put glamping on there. Whatever you have on there will be on there.
The glamping is coming up November 26th, I think it is, but it's sold out.
Okay. It's sold out, guys.
I want to do another
one. That was amazing. Right. That's the one with the whitewater rafting.
No, that was over the summer. The one coming up is just pure glamping yoga. It's called Reclaiming Our Wellness.
There you go. You have to go on one of her adventures. It's amazing. Where else can they reach you? Like on social media?
Instagram, okay. Adventures for the Soul with what do you call it? Underscore between each word.
Adventures _for thus. Okay, you guys got it. So okay. So go follow her on Instagram. Is there a Facebook page?
Yeah. Adventures for the Soul.
Adventures for the Soul on Facebook. Make sure you go adventuresforthesoul.me. Go to the website and just check out whatever she has coming up. You do private ones too?
I do private hikes. I think my battery's going to die. I do private hikes. So if you go on adventuresforthesoul.me, there is a contact little tab where you can reach out to me if you want a private hike. Then also, if you resonate with my story, I am doing motivational speaking, and I would love to share my story with your audience or a women's conference. So please contact me, because the title of this little story, which maybe be a book, from chaos to courage.
Ooh, I love that. Okay. Yes. So if you want Bettina to speak at your event, make sure you contact her through all of the channels we just said. If you don't, for some reason, get her, contact me. I will get her because this is a story that needs to be heard just to everybody. It's courage. It's just a little bit of everything in this story, but we're glad that you're back, that you're here, and that you're thriving through it, and that we're all being blessed by it. So
thank you.
Yes, I am thanking you so much for coming on. And look, I'll be talking to you off, but everybody else, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Grow Your Glow, and make sure you join us next week for another guest. But Bettina, it has been amazing.
Thank you.
We shall talk more. Look, I'm gonna see you in November on that brunch, especially if Lori, if you don't go, I'm getting that free ticket. But if not, I'll pay for it. All right, guys, have a good night. Bettina, we shall talk soon.
All right, bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Da-da-da.